Hey guys, we're just getting the links to the chat out right now. Wait for a few people to get in here and then we'll get started with what we got planned for the day. So if you guys could, please tweet this out, share it on Facebook, all that fun stuff, everything that I'm doing right now. Hey JC. I'll be able to bring the chat window up here in a minute where I can see y'all's comments the whole time. Yeah, like I said, I'm just sharing out the social media links right now. We got a lot of stuff to go through today. A lot of stuff. Scotland, thanks for stopping by. What time is it there? $6 p.m.? That's not too bad. That's a good time to hang out, right? Jay and the Sticks. Willis, Michigan. And I've been to Michigan a couple of times. I'd love to get back up there hunting. Hey, Jamie. As I said there at the start of the stream, just sharing out the social media links, stuff like that. Let everybody know that we're live before we get started with a lot of gear. A lot of the gear that I take with me whenever I'm out filming or whenever I'm out just, you know, bullshitting, things like that. Elkhart and Hillman. You guys got any problem with bear up there? Coming down from Canada? We got black bears coming in around here from Pennsylvania. Being a general pain in the ass. Yeah, we got one black bear running around the area. Everybody keeps warning us about it, like a black bear is going to do much of anything. Black bears are really, really tame compared to grizzlies or something like that. Usually a black bear won't mess with you. So, last night in my Facebook group, Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival, I was sitting down and I was watching a buddy of mine talk about how the outdoors community tends to follow the hype around bushcraft gear. You got a lot of bigger channels, a lot of the guys and gals that everybody looks up to. Hit one in the butt with a screen door and ran. A lot of the gear that the bigger channels and a lot of, you know, the big names in the outdoors community right now are hawking gear that a lot of people can't afford. And let me get this light off back here. I didn't realize that glare was there. So let me just turn that off right quick. There. That's a little bit better. Not the kind of setting that you're used to seeing me in, right? We're in my living room right now. We're doing this from home today, and there's a couple of reasons for that. We're getting ready to head back down to our new bushcraft build. And while we're down there, we're going to be taking some unconventional gear with us. And it's stuff that I commonly use, but it's not stuff that you'll see too many other places. So what I was saying there before we realized that the glare was up is Tom Ritter over in Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival, it's a Facebook group, was talking last night about how everybody in the community tends to follow this sort of hype around bushcraft gear, and they're going out and they're spending a month's rent on a backpack or a knife or something like that just because their little hero said that they needed this particular piece of gear, or they're always hawking it on their channels. And because these successful YouTube channels are hawking this expensive gear, there's this kind of unspoken belief that if you get this particular gear, it'll make you just as popular as the guy that's hawking it to you, which is bullshit. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter what kind of backpack you have or knife you have or anything like that. You can mention it in the title of your video, you can do a review on it or something like that, but it ain't gonna make you any better of an outdoorsman than a cheap ass knife is gonna do, or a cheap ass backpack or anything like that. So I'm gonna give you guys a look at what I normally grab whenever I'm getting ready to head out into the woods, and you're gonna shit when you see this. This right here, this is my backpack. This is my, I just grab it and go backpack. This is it. And I've beat the shit out of this thing. This is made out of ripstop nylon. It's cheap as hell. It's like 20 bucks, a $20 backpack, and it folds down to that. So whenever I'm here at home, or if I want to take this as a backup pack, it's easy to store. I can store this in a bigger pack like this one here. Now, whenever I'm going out for a couple of days or something like that, I might take something like that just because I need all that extra space. But if I'm going out for, like, just say I'm going out for an overnighter, I don't need anything more than that by way of my backpack. And this thing not only holds everything that I need, but this comes with a charging port right on the outside of the backpack. So I got a battery pack here. This battery pack slips right inside the total pack. It's got a pocket on the inside just for this. And then the connection, it plugs in on the inside, and then there's a port on the outside of the bag, so you don't have to fumble through your bag to reach a charging port, especially if you're outdoors filming and things like that, or you're doing live streams like I do. This thing comes in super handy because I could be out there live streaming, you don't know how long I'm gonna be out there, and it kills my iPhone battery while I'm live streaming from out there, so I can just plug it right into my backpack, nice and easy, and we can keep going. This battery pack here will recharge my iPhone from 0 to 100% 4 or 5 times before this wears out. So this is super handy for me just because I'm filming in the outdoors. If I was going out for a week or something like that, I definitely want a pack like, a battery pack like this to keep my electronics charged. Not only do I have this charger, but we'll get into lights here in a minute. This particular light right here also has 2 charging ports in it. You see that right there? That's a charging port. So not only do I have the light, and it also strobes, an emergency SOS strobe, but it has charging ports on the side, so I can charge 3 or 4 times off of this light, and the light is still good after that. So I got an SOS strobe light. It's got a magnetic panel right there, so it'll stick to anything metal, and it's got 2 different charging ports on each side. So I actually use this light. This is the light that got me out of the polar vortex. We're going to be going over lights here in a minute. I actually have 2 lights here that I want to share with you guys. One of them is an authentic light, and one of them is a cheap knockoff. The cheap knockoff almost got me into a lot of trouble during that polar vortex, and this is the light that saved my ass. So we'll get into that story in a minute. But for right now, we're going to go back to the backpack. So this is the backpack that I carry. My general use backpack, right? It's very, very small. Ripstop nylon, very good backpack. Along with this, I'll grab my hammock. And that's the hammock. Again, ripstop nylon hammock. Everything that I need for this hammock is in here, and it also has the bug net. So these 2 pieces of gear right here are basically a portable camp. That's all I need to go camping overnight or even for 2 days. This is all I need to set up a camp. Sleep in the hammock, got the backpack, I'm ready to go. Now if it's going to rain, then I'll go ahead and toss this into the backpack, and this is probably one of the Hey, not a problem, Jamie. Thanks for stopping by. This is probably one of the most expensive pieces of gear that I have, and this is the Ripstop Nylon 10x10 tarp. And this is from Bushcraft Outfitters. I got this just because back in the day, whenever I first started, I was carrying one of these poly tarps. Poly tarp you can fold down pretty nice, and it fits right into the back sleeve of your backpack. But I'm always trying to interact with the wildlife and things like that while I'm out there, and using a poly tarp, the damn thing's noisy as shit. They're really good. I mean, they'll protect you from all kinds of weather, and they'll protect you better than ripstop nylon a lot of the times, because there's just nothing going to get through this, and they trap heat a lot better than the nylon. But they're so noisy that this thing rattling around or blowing in the wind, scaring the wildlife off, and I'm trying to get closer to them. So I went to the ripstop nylon pack, and it's a lightweight 10x10. I mean, this is a huge tarp. Really don't need nothing that big, especially if I'm just covering the hammock or something like that. But I can configure this 30 or 40 different ways depending on the environmental factors, and it's just an all-around universal piece of gear. So it's actually worth buying a ripstop nylon tarp. They're a lot lighter, a lot more compact, and Bushcraft Outfitters is a good place to get them, just because it's a quality product. Bushcraft Outfitters, though, they are a little bit expensive. They mark their shit up just like anybody else does. You can find cheaper tarps, but I had a discount code for them, so I used it. I'm a cheap ass, I'm telling you. Alright, so back to the backpack. Folded up like this, I still have compartments on the outside of the backpack that I can use, and I can just clip this to my belt if I'm not actually using it as a backpack. Open it up though, and when this thing pops open, it turns into this. So this is basically inside out from how I had it packed there before. And this is everything that I need right here. It doesn't have a heavy frame to it, so it contours to my back, and it's fluid while I'm wearing it in this terrain. So if I'm climbing up a hill or something like that, I don't have this real stiff piece of gear on my back that's throwing me off balance. This thing contours right to me, and it shifts with the terrain. So it's really good to have. On the inside, like I was saying, the battery pack, there's the cord. It plugs right into your battery pack, and then right here on the outside of the pack is your charging port, so you don't have to fumble through your pack to recharge your gear. You just plug it in right there. And it's got plenty of pocket space, and then the back space, everything that I would need. So that's my backpack. I don't carry a Hidden Woodsman day ruck or a Hidden Woodsman this or a Hidden Woodsman that or any of this other shit like you see little Joey Robinette doing just because he's trying to hawk that fucking gear. If you look at the Hidden Woodsman products, they're probably spending $4 or $5 to actually produce those backpacks, and they're selling them to you for a fucking month's rent. $350, $400, $500 and up backpack. You're out of your goddamn mind if you think you need a Hidden Woodsman backpack just because these big fucking YouTubers and outdoorsmen out there are hawking that fucking gear. What was everybody using before fucking Hidden Woodsman came out? You guys are paying for those fucking logos, thinking that logo is going to give you superpower out in the wilderness. And I carry this, and this backpack cost me 20 bucks. Same with this one here. Now, if I want to go big, this backpack here's 30 bucks. All of that, $30. And I beat the shit out of this thing too. You guys see me out there. You've seen me out there with this pack. 30 bucks, 20 bucks. These are the only two backpacks that I have. The original backpack that I had whenever I started the channel was a grenade backpack, and it's just like a high school backpack. There's nothing fucking fancy about it. So these are the two packs that I have. I ain't going to buy another backpack because for extended stays I take this one. For my everyday use I take this one. That's it for the backpacks. And they're cheap. 20 bucks, 30 bucks, I ain't gonna spend any more than that on the goddamn backpack. All it's gotta do is hold stuff. If I wanted to, I could take a grocery bag and throw my shit in it. Because that's all it does. That's the only function that backpack has, is to hold your shit. Why you're gonna go out and spend $400 or $500 on a backpack just to hold your shit for you? If you can rationalize that to me in the chat, go ahead and try it. You're welcome to it. Okay, so we got the backpack. We got that out of the way. We got the 10x10 tarp. We looked at that. And the poly tarp. Old school poly tarp. This thing, it's like $3, you know. And I've used this on overnighters before. I used this on winter overnighters before. I think I need a beer. And it worked out fine. It's got good heavy grommets in it. You know, it's just ripstop poly tarp. It's a good tarp. It's just noisy. More expensive tarp. Going out and getting this, if I didn't have the code to get, like, you know, my discount on this, I would have never got Bushcraft Outfitters tarp. There's cheaper tarps out there, and it's the same shit. Again, you're talking about a piece of cloth, a 10x10 piece of cloth. There's nothing to this. A 10x10 piece of cloth and a little bit of thread, and these guys are hawking it to you for an insane markup. Their profits are probably 500 or 600 times what their fucking investment is in the product. And it's the same with Malcolm over there at Hidden Woodsman. For cordage, dude, here's my cordage right here. My cordage right here, my regular paracord that I take with me. This is my go-to paracord, and it cost me like $5 at Walmart. Again, this is just cordage. I could go out there and use a grapevine if I wanted to, or, you know, make my own cordage. But if I'm just, you know, lazy and want to go get paracord, because everybody carries paracord now, even though they didn't in the past, I just go to Walmart and spend, you know, $3 or $4. Hey, Tom, this was inspired by you, buddy. I was watching your live stream there on Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival that you did, talking about gear. Yeah, you caught me. So yeah, I was watching your live stream there on Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival on Facebook, and that kind of inspired me to go through some of my gear and what I use out there. And everybody's seen so far that I'm a cheap ass, and I'm not going out there buying into all the hype. Where do you get the $20 pack? The total pack, you can find it on Amazon, and after the stream, whenever I can fill all this shit out, I'll leave links to all of this gear down in the description of the video. So you guys here on the live stream hanging out with me, you can go back to the video, and there'll be hyperlinks to the original stores that sell this stuff. I don't want you guys going to stores that are selling this for the actual maker of the product, because they tend to mark it up a little bit. They might mark it up only $2 or $3, but they're still marking it up. So I'll send you guys to the original stores, the manufacturers themselves, so you can get your backpacks. Let's see what else I got here. Got the battery out of the way. So we went over 2 backpacks. We went over 2 different types of tarp. And then the hammock. That's basically your portable camp. You don't need anything more than that. You don't have to go out there and burn up all your calories, you know, building a shelter whenever you can just take one with you. But that's if you like sleeping in a hammock. If you don't like sleeping in a hammock, then you just take your bedroll with the same setup, you know. You don't need to spend all this time and money on fucking camp, especially if you're just spending the night. That's one of the things that I see a lot. People going out for an overnighter and they take half their fucking house with them, or they overhype their camp. Whenever I go out there, I string up my fucking hammock, or I throw up my bedroll, I toss up the tarp, and that's it. There's no more energy spent on it. And in a survival situation, that's key. In a survival situation, you don't want to be burning up calories, making your fucking camp all fancy and cozy and homey and all that other shit. You want the maximum results for the least amount of effort. You don't want to spend all your fucking calories and all your energy just setting up camp so you can go to sleep. You do it really basic, you get it up, and you get it done. You don't go out there like TA Outdoors is doing and build these mega structures just because it looks good in the video. French Army tent. Yeah, there's a couple of good tents out there, and I actually have a tent here. It's in the other room. I have a 2-person tent, dome tent, that I've used, but I've never used it during the series. I use it whenever, you know, I'm out with family or something like that, because they have to have something over their little heads. and they have to have that bubble of safety around them. I don't. I sleep on the cold, hard fucking ground. So we got the backpacks, we got the tarps, we got the hammock. Aside from my backpack, if I'm just carrying the total pack with me, that little $20, ripstop nylon pack, this is a newer piece of gear that I got, and this is just my hip bag. And in this, I normally carry my phones. I've lost 2 iPhones while I was out filming within the past year. So I put my phones in here. This is waterproof. And along with the phones going in here, this is just for things that I want to grab right off my hip real quick. I'll have an extra knife in here. I might have my ferro rod in here. Things like that, just stuff that you would use while you were walking, or might have snacks in here that I can just grab. On this top pocket right here, you see that long top pocket right there? That's usually where I keep my ferro rods. Exactly, Tom. And I think that's really important, especially right now. Right now, like, and I'll call him out, like TA Outdoors. I'm a fan of TA Outdoors. The guy does amazing shit. I just think he cheats doing it. Now his builds right now, he's building what we would consider mega structures. He's going out there spending weeks or a month to build a single structure, and the only reason he's doing it is because he's already done everything there is to do as far as bushcrafting goes. So he's trying to one-up the game all the damn time, build these bigger and bigger and bigger structures. It's not bushcraft and it's not survival anymore. It's just this guy out building forts in the woods. So TA Outdoors is just about building forts. He's a kid playing in the woods, and that's it. And he spends the majority of his videos processing wood. The amount of calories and the amount of energy that guy is spending just processing fucking wood for those structures, he probably eats like a fucking horse and sleeps like a baby whenever he gets home at night, because that's what he's doing. He goes out there, he works on those structures for a day, he goes home to a soft little bed, and he tucks himself in with his little teddy bear, and then he gets up the next day and he goes out there and does it again until he has a YouTube video. I was a fan of TA Outdoors until he started this obsession with mega structures. The structures that he's building are impressive. You got to give him that. But whenever it comes to bushcraft, survival, your general outdoorsman type shit, there is no point to be doing what that guy is doing right now. He's just showboating. I don't know if he got full of his own fucking hype or what, but he's just showboating with those structures. Anyway, back to this. This is waterproof. And I waterproofed it myself, but it's got a lot of different compartments in it. I carry this on my hip, and it's got the leg strap. I can actually support my axe and knife on this piece of gear. So it even, like if I'm going on a day hike, this is the piece of gear that I carry. I won't even carry a backpack. This is all I need. I can put food in here, and I'll show you one of my water containers that I just strap onto the belt, and it's kind of like, a utility belt thing. My food's in here, I got a fire kit in here, and I might have an emergency blanket like that there, which is like a book. And whenever it comes to yeah, the leg bag is awesome. I call it my Han Solo. Inside here, as far as survival, the survival kit, my med kit, it's just this. And I can either have this clipped on the outside, or I can have it tucked on the inside. But these two pieces right here, I'm comfortable going out on my day hikes or even an overnighter just having these. If I know the weather's going to be right, and I won't necessarily need a shelter or even a tarp, if I just want to go hang out by a fucking tree overnight around a campfire, I'll have these two pieces of gear with me just for safety reasons. And that's it. I'm not carrying anything else. I'm not going to load my backpack up and carry 30 pounds of gear out there just to spend the damn night, when I know that I can go spend a night in the woods with not even having this. I just go out there and sit. You guys have seen me do it. But this is a nice little piece of gear too. It's nice to have, and it's got all your namby-pamby shit in it. A whistle that I'll never fucking use. It's got an extra knife, waterproof matches, cotton balls. It's got a little fucking handsaw in there. It's got a mirror for flashing. And I tell you what though, the mirror, the signal mirror, I don't think that would ever fucking work. You see it in movies and shit like that, or you see it, you know, out in mountainous areas where people are signaling with their fucking mirror. If I seen somebody off in the distance signaling them with the fucking mirror, I ain't gonna pay no attention to it. Sure as hell ain't walking to the bastard. And if you try to signal a plane with a mirror, they just gonna fly right over you. That's unrealistic shit. But, you know, that's what people do. Also, these here. This is more unconventional gear that I carry. These two leather pouches here. Usually I carry like a folding knife, like a folding pocket knife, like an old timer or something like that in one of them. And I'll carry extra ferro rod or something like that in another. And I can, you know, clip these onto the outside of my backpack or onto the belt of this here. So these here, it's just extra compartments. If I don't need them, I don't carry them. But I actually got these here off of an old golf bag. These are from an old golf bag. I didn't pay anything for them, and I don't golf. So I just took the pieces that I could use off of the golf bag, and I actually recycled the leather from that golf bag into something I could actually fucking use. So yeah, it's just an old junk golf bag. Took these off. Carry my extra knife, ferro rod, maybe some cotton in them. Waterproof the inside of these, so if I'm, you know, sometimes I'll carry them empty, so if I'm like picking up grasses or something like that, I can stuff them in here, and if it starts raining, I know the shit's not going to get wet. So this is just sort of a small fire starting kit that I add to my gear. So the Han Solo, great pack, and I'll leave a link down in the description where you can get one of these. I carry this with me every time that I go out now. Just cause it's just, and it's comfortable too. I like and it's just like my knife, my original knife whenever I started the series was this one here, and this is a pretty common knife. My brother-in-law actually got this for me for Christmas, but it has the thigh strap to it. Having the thigh strap was, I don't know why, it's more comfortable to me, and it keeps the damn thing from rattling around. Again, because whenever I'm out in the woods, every single time I go out in the woods, I'm thinking about wildlife. So I don't want things rattling around on me or clanking up against my hip and making all this other noise and all that other shit. I need the stuff secure. So a knife like this that straps to my thigh and keeps it from, you know, wobbling, or a pack like this that straps to my thigh and keeps it from moving around, it helps me out a lot. So those are the packs that I normally use, and none of it is over $30. Inside the pack. What do I normally put inside the pack? Like I said, if I'm just going out for a day or an overnighter, I'll carry the hip pack, and you know, I have my survival kit in there. Just a general first aid. I'm usually not a fucking idiot while I'm out in the wood. Yeah, it's a great blade, and I beat the shit out of it. But you know what happened there, Tom? I had that blade, and I carried it with me. Carried it with me, and then go ahead and move on to this. You know where that came from, right, Tom? So this is my everyday carry knife, and this is hey William, I'm pretty fucking good. This is my everyday carry. This is the one. This is the knife that I carry. This is the I guess we call it the official knife of the Huntsman series. This came from the Facebook group Deep Woods, Bushcraft, and Survival. Mr. Tom there is a moderator in that group. It's the best group that I'm in, and Tom does epic live streams over there on that Facebook group that nobody should miss. Whenever we get done, I'll leave a link down to Deep Woods, Bushcraft, and Survival in the video description, so you can all go down there and join that group. You don't want to miss Tom's live streams. They're epic. So this is the knife that I got from that group, and I carry that with me all the time now. So yeah, I started off with this knife here, and I carried it, beat the shit out of it. We started our first camps with this knife, no other knife, just this one. And then Deep Woods, meeting Tom, meeting all the boys over there, hanging out with them. Got this in a contest over there, and I switched over to this one. And I beat the shit out of this knife too. But it still has the original edge on it. This thing is still razor sharp, and I haven't sharpened it. Like, I've had this for what, maybe almost a year now, and I haven't sharpened it. Use it every damn time I go out. Great knife. Good quality product. Now, my most expensive knife, this one here, I always carry this with me. I don't go to the supermarket without this knife. This knife, though, is super expensive. But the reason I carry it is because it was a gift. Whenever I was kicking off the channel, I was reaching out to outdoorsmen from all over the world and talking to them about how they do what they do. Yeah, his knives are insane. They hold an edge forever. This knife here is my most expensive. It was a gift. Whenever I started the series, like I was saying there, I was networking with people from all over. I wanted to know what people from different countries had, what their approach and their philosophy to the wilderness was. That's how I met Maja Odin. Maja Odin is she's a huntress over in Norway. She leads guided hunting tours up into the mountains, and when she takes you up in the mountains, you're going to be up there for a week or two. The girl was absolutely amazing and a huge inspiration for the channel. So I start talking to her and about what she carries in mountainous terrain. My terrain is a little bit different than mountainous. It ain't quite mountainous, but I'm in glacial cut area, so it's pretty rough. There's deep gorges. You know, you guys have seen the landscape, right? So talking to her and how, you know, whenever she takes people out hunting, that's where I got the information that about being in shape, about keeping yourself healthy, about working out whenever you're at home, because the one thing that holds people back whenever they go out for extended stays is their physical fitness. They can't hike as far as they think that they can hike before they get tired and sore and worn out. They can't carry weight with them, so they put all this shit in their backpack thinking, yeah, I can handle this. They can handle it for the first hour or two, but the further you go, the heavier that damn pack gets. It's like holding up a glass of water like this. You know, you just hold it like that and try to hold it and hold it and hold it. That thing gets heavy as hell. Your muscles wear out. So we started talking about hunting, and then and she was talking to me about physical fitness being a huge factor in survival situations, especially over there in Norway, where you're in mountainous terrains and there's not a lot of rescue crews. And our relationship just developed from there. Okay, thank you, Pam. Appreciate it, sweetheart. So as our friendship developed and the series kept going on, it was right after I got the Deepwoods knife. Maja messaged me and said that she wanted to send me this knife. And this is the Heli. This was developed by Les Stroud while he was in Romania. And it's a great neck knife. So, developed by Les Stroud in Romania, sent to me from Norway by Maja Odin. That's why I carry it. It's more sentimental, but I use this thing more than I use anything else, just because it's a nice small neck knife, you know, and that's laminated stainless steel blade. It can take a beating, and you can just repolish it. But just like Tom was saying in his stream last night, a neck knife like this, a small knife like this, you wear a knife like this not so much for the utility of it as much as the convenience of it. I can do a task with this, put it right back in the sheath on my neck, and it's out of the way. So this is about convenience, but it's also kind of that there's a psychological factor to carrying this knife just because of the story behind it. And it's just like my Deepwoods knife. I carry that because there's a story behind it, and you can have faith in that product. This knife here, if you wanted to go out and buy this tiny little neck knife with it's got like a, you know, a 2-inch blade. I mean, the damn thing's like 3 inches overall. This is a $300 knife. Now, how much material cost do you think is in that knife? Heli marks these up because there's only like 12 people in the world that can make these knives. They only employ like 12 people at the factory, and everything is done by hand. You can see videos, you can watch the people that actually make these knives make your knife for you. So there's a little bit of hype around the Heli brand just because they're a small ass company, but they got this mythology around them. They got this hype around them. They are good quality knives. If this little thing, do I think that it's worth what they charge you for? Hell no. I might pay like $5-10 for it, but that's about it. But it's priceless to me just because it came from Maja, and she was one of the original supporters for the channel. She sent me this, and along with it, she sent me this tiny little pouch that I've never actually used. So, yeah, some sentimental value to this little piece of kit, but I would never go out and buy a knife like this just because of a brand name. The only other thing, the hype around this is that the factory that they make these knives on is sitting on top of a Viking burial ground. And they actually use that story where they built the factory to hype up the story around their knives. You know, if you go in there on a tour, you say, you know, they'll tell you you're walking on top of a Viking burial ground right now, and that's where we, you know, make these knives at. So that you got that sort of metaphysical factor to it. Like, I'm gonna be a Viking if I carry this knife just because it was made on a Viking burial ground. Now we go to the extreme end of the knife part, and I've never actually carried this big clunky sumbitch. The reason is, I never thought that I would use it, but I actually might be using it in an upcoming live stream down at the new Bushcraft build, and that's that sumbitch right there, the machete. Use these for clearing out. Whenever I was down at the camp a couple of days ago, the weeds down there are insanely high. So I might carry something like this just to go clear my camp out, but I'm not going to carry it like everyday carry or some shit like that, because I'm never going to use it. I'm not like going through the fucking jungle or something like that where I have to hack the forest out of my way. The forests around here are extremely clear, but that meadow that's sitting right beside my camp, that thing shot up. So taking those weeds down, or at least cutting paths out of that meadow, it'll cut down from the odds of me picking up a tick while I'm walking through there or sitting down there, you know, trying to bring the deer in. I can clear that out to bring the deer in and actually be able to get them on film, and they're not hidden behind all the high grasses. Shit like that. That's why I might carry something like this, but I've never actually carried the damn thing. It was a Christmas present. And it's an El Cheapo fucking machete too, but look at this sumbitch. This is like a serial killer fucking machete. It's got a hell of a stainless steel blade on it, and it's got that saw edge. I could probably use that saw edge. It'd be a hell of a lot better than my folding saw, because that is a big edge. But I don't know. I don't know if I'd trust myself trying to saw, holding that thing upside down, trying to saw with that and that razor edge. It would probably fucking jam up on me and my hand slip or something, cut myself. So yeah, I've never actually used a machete, but they do have their purposes in different types of environments. And again, this thing, maybe $5. Tom, you're gonna love this. I brought this out just for you in case you showed up. This knife here is my grandfather's knife. He had this knife in an old trunk that he kept his stuff in from when he was in the war. And I have no idea the story behind this knife, but it's got to have one hell of a story. And before I show you the knife, I just want to try to show you guys the sheath that it was in. That is a hand-stitched, rigged up sheath. That's the original, or at least that's what my grandpa had it in. Now somebody stitched this sumbitch up in the field. You can tell. Look how rough that stitching is. They just cut an extra piece of leather and stitched this up by hand, and it looks like it's the first time they ever had a fucking needle in their hand. But that's the original sheath that the knife came in. This here's the knife. So this is the oldest knife that I have, and this is the only knife that I have from my grandfather. Now you can tell, you see that little guard right there? The top guard probably matched that one, but it's been broken off. The leather made from an old boot, good to know. So that the top part of the guard has been broken off, and that could have been broken off a million different ways. And I'm not sure if I can pick up the mark on the blade, but it does have a maker's mark on the blade, or at least it has sort of like a crest on the blade. I'll try to take a picture of the blade and post it up on social media, or at least a crest. But that there's the oldest knife that I have in my collection, and I don't know the value of it, but that is a rough wood handle. I mean, that thing is older than dirt. There's no polish left on that wood, and you can see here how it's sort of pulling out a little bit, and he's tapped back down in there. But that's probably a full tang going all the way through there. So yeah, that's my oldest piece of outdoors gear. But I stopped carrying it. I carried this with me when I was a teenager, and I used it while I was out quite a bit when I was a teenager, just because, you know, it was my grandpa's knife. But I haven't used it since. I put it in the same cedar chest that he had his war things in, and it's been there ever since. Last on the blade deal is the old Huntsman's axe, and you know, everybody knows this axe now, just because of what I did to the handle there. You know, I kind of one-upped it on the old axe. This is a mid-range axe. I don't need anything bigger than this. I have never needed anything bigger than this for what I do in the outdoors, guys. I see guys going out there with, you know, full-size axes. A German Alpine Corp knife. There we go. Thank you, Tom. I kind of figured you might know that knife. Yeah, that was my grandpa's knife, and like I said, that's probably got a hell of a history behind it. For all I know, this knife killed 12 people. But yeah, he had that in his collection, along with old granddad knife that he used to carry fishing with him. Didn't know the story behind it, but now that I know, thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. I'll take a look into the story behind those knives. The axe, again, don't need anything bigger than this. I carry this with me all the time. And normally, if I'm carrying a pack like this, and I don't want to have this clanking on my hip, like if I'm using my axe, my belt loop, to carry the axe, I'll just slide this down into the back pouch of my total pack if it's right inside my backpack. Again, I see guys wearing their axe on the outside of their backpack. I don't know why they do that, because it exposes your axe head to all the elements. I just shove mine right in my backpack, and it gives me that kind of spine to the pack. So everything else in there, you know, it just keeps the pack from folding up on itself. It rests against your back really well. You get this down in your lumbar section, and it puts a little bit of weight on your lumbar section. So whenever you're on an incline, you're climbing up a hill like I'm doing all the damn time, having that extra pressure on your lumbar helps you keep your balance. So having this inside my backpack, right up against my spine, actually helps out whenever I'm out hiking, just because it helps keep my damn back straight while I'm doing it. So I'm kind of using the axe as a frame inside of my backpack, and I normally carry it upside down like this, with the weight on my lumbar section, this going up my spine. It leaves my shoulders open at the top, so it just fits right in there perfectly, and it helps me keep my balance on this terrain. That's why I carry it like that. And then it's easy to pull out, just because I'm not grabbing it by the head, I'm grabbing it by the handle. It also keeps the weight in your backpack balanced, because you want all the weight at the bottom, not at the top. You know, yeah, just like an internal frame. If I was carrying this inside the backpack like this, the weight of the axe head would throw the balance of the backpack off. And if I'm on an incline and I'm trying to climb, that is going to be pulling me back like that. That little bit of extra weight, that weight goes from a couple of pounds to feeling like it's 15 fucking pounds, just because your muscles are getting tired. So I don't want the weight up on my shoulders like that, where it's going to pull me back down that angle. I want it down low, where it's helping keep my base of gravity closer to the ground. So keep my legs apart while I'm going up that terrain, and keep the weight on my back down low. So lower gravity. That's how I carry the axe. And again, I don't need anything bigger than that. All of the shelters, everything that I've done, I've used this axe to do it. Don't need anything fancy. That's like an $80 axe. Nice and neat. What else? Other stuff that I normally carry, that you guys normally see me carry, just a regular mess kit, 3-piece kit. You know, it's got everything that I need in there, and I carry my eating utensils in there too. As far as the grid goes, This is just this grid here that I've used this since day one of the series. This also fits right up against my back. I'll have the axe one way and I'll have this down the other. So I'm using my gear as the internal frame on the backpack. This actually fits when it's in my pack. It's in my pack. It fits right there. So it holds everything up, and it's more lumbar support. I am always hiking. I'm always moving whenever I'm out in the woods, and I'm always going over rough terrain. So all of the back support that I can use, get from my gear is basically multi-purpose. I'm using this to keep my ass going while I'm out there. But this here, I got this out of a toaster oven. An old toaster oven that didn't work no more. I just pulled that out, and I've been using this ever since day one of the series. I didn't go out and buy another piece of gear or anything like that. This is from a toaster oven that was in my basement. And it served me pretty well. The damn thing's hard as hell. It cleans up easy. And it's got those little feet on it from where it's sat inside the toaster oven. So it keeps it up off the ground a little bit. And you guys have seen me, just prop it up on rocks or something like that. And a lot of times, I don't even start a fire when I'm using this thing. If I'm looking to just heat up a cup of coffee, I'm not going to spend a half an hour processing wood to heat up my fucking coffee. So I just carry one of these with me. This is just a little alcohol burner. That's it, just alcohol gel. So you'll see me out there. Yeah, repurpose oven and barbecue racks. You got to. There's no point in going out and even spending a couple of bucks on one. And I've seen guys go out and spend, $20, $30 on a hyped up rack. Why? Before I spend that money, I'll hold the goddamn meat over the fire by my hand. But you guys have seen me out there with one of these little gel cans, just alcohol burner, right? Heating up my coffee or heating up oatmeal, stew, something like that. I'm not going to go through all the hassle of building a wood fire, sparking a fire, and going through all of that shit. I don't need that kind of practice every single time I go out. I'm on the move. I need to go. And I don't want to burn up calories processing fucking wood every time. So I carry this little thing in there, put that right over top of it, heat up my coffee. 10 minutes later, I'm out the fucking area, So that's another thing I see people doing. Every single fucking time they go out, you never see them use a lighter. You never see them use, alcohol gel or something like that. You never see them just get the fucking job done, get your food in, you get your coffee drank, and be going. No, they want to go out there and they want to go through this whole B-roll footage of them gathering up all of their fucking kindling and, making feather sticks and chopping and sawing wood and all this other shit. By the time they get their fucking fire done, 2 hours have passed and they ain't got fucking nowhere except hungrier. Whenever I'm out there, I'm on a fucking mission. If I want coffee, I want it right goddamn now. I don't want to wait 2 fucking hours for my damn coffee. Yep, 10-minute setup. Yeah, I usually carry one. I'm not sure how much one of these cans weighs. But I tell you what, man, you putting all of the shit in my backpack never weighs over 10 pounds. This stuff's lightweight. It's just gel, so there's nothing to it. I think the heaviest thing in my backpack's gonna be the axe. I'm not trying to carry a bunch of weight out there, and I'm not sure as hell not trying to carry my whole fucking house out to the woods. I could be out there for 3 days with the total pack and have less than 10 items in it and be comfortable as shit. I don't need all that stuff. So we've gone through the packs, we've gone through tarps, we've gone through blades, we've gone through a little bit of unconventional gear, and we'll get into some more of that here in a second. But before we get to that, we'll talk about our lights. So if you guys seen my most recent episode, Vaughn sent me this little tactical flashlight that is bright as shit and it lasts forever. That's one LED in there, so it's not burning up a lot of your battery, and it clips right onto my belt, or I can put it right into the top pouch of my hip bag that you guys saw there. So Vaughn sent me this tactical flashlight, it's really good. Yep, alcohol fuel tabs. Even a little folding wood burning stove is better than going through the whole fucking hassle of processing wood the way you see everybody do every single time that they're out. and I guarantee you, they're not doing that every single time that they're out. They're not going to go out there and go through the 17-step fucking process to make coffee. Uh, no, no. And if they are, they're a fucking idiot. You don't need. I mean, once you get sparking a fire down with a ferro rod, there's only so many times you're only going to get so good at it. You want to practice it every once in a while, but it's not something you have to do every single time because you think it's a video requirement. It's not. Yeah, folding stoves are great. Just throw some twigs in there, spark that sumbitch up, and get it going. Onto the lights, though. Vaughn sent me that tactical flashlight. It's really lightweight, very durable construction. Beat the shit out of this on a night hike. And we tested these products out ourselves, so we know that they're good products. Little tactical flashlight is great. Carry that in my hip pouch so it's easy access. Or it's got a really heavy clip right there, so I can just have it right on my belt. And I just pull it out. Easy access, especially, you know, if you're hiking at night like you see me do sometimes. You want your lights readily available. You don't want to have to be, you know, try shuffling through all your shit in the middle of the night trying to get a light, especially if one starts going out on you. And I had that happen. So I'm going to recap this story right quick just for everybody that's here. About 8 months ago, this company gets a hold of me and says, hey, we got this light, blah, blah, blah. We want you to try it out. That was back in February. And we took it out during the polar vortex. So I'm out in the polar vortex. The front comes through. Temperature instantly drops. Like, I mean, I felt the wall. Like I'm sitting in the woods, middle of the night, right? And it's one temperature 1 minute, and I felt the front pass me. Temperature instantly drops. The vortex hits. Frost starts forming in my fucking beard. And about 5 minutes after that cold front came through, the light that I was using, which is this one here, this is the one that they sent me, started flickering out on me. It could not handle the cold. Now, it's a bright little light. It's got 3 LED strips in it. And it's got the magnetic base. And they added a hook here at the bottom so you can hang the damn thing upside down. So you think this is a good design, right? You got a magnetic base, you got a hook, it's collapsible, and as you can see right there, I don't even have it all the way open because I'll blind you guys. It's a pretty bright light. The design flaw is in the LEDs that are on the inside, and I can't show you guys unless I take the batteries out. I suppose I could do that. On the inside of this damn thing, the way that the LEDs are mounted is the design flaw. Now, we know that it can't handle cold because I had it out in the vortex, and whenever it dropped below 0, the light started to flicker out on me. It started to go dim. And it might have been the kind of batteries that I was using. I'll give them that. It might have been the kind of batteries. But my belief is that it was in the LED strips. So we'll open this up here, and I'll try to show you guys the strips on the inside if I can get a good angle of it. So they're just single strips. You see that kind of yellow-green? That's the LED strips. Now you see that one right there? That one, you can tell right there that it's kind of bent. That is where that LED strip broke off on the inside of the lantern, and that's what causes the flicker. So they had that mounted in there on just a tiny piece of plastic. The plastic broke while I was out in the woods in the middle of the night in a polar vortex, and the light starts going out on me. That's true. Not much works in that kind of condition. So I had this light. It started failing on me. This was my backup light, and this is the light that got me out of the woods. It could handle the cold. And it could probably handle the cold because it's got an internal rechargeable battery, and it's a lot heavier by way of construction. This is just cheap molded plastic. This thing here has got a rubber coating on it, and it's a lot heavier by way of body than this thing is. So this could handle the cold, and this is what got me out of that vortex whenever this one started failing me. So I had this this particular lantern here, and I thought it was a good lantern. I like the design, of course, because you know it's a cool looking design. and being collapsible like that, it saves you space, and it's really lightweight. So here's the problem I had, guys. Another company gets a hold of me a couple weeks back, and they said, hey, we happen to come across, I ain't worried about the battery, we happen to come across your YouTube video talking about a collapsible lantern and how it failed you. We want to let you know that our company holds the original patent to that design. I'm like, okay. So they sent me their lantern, the original lantern, to test their product out against the cheap Chinese knockoff. Now take a look at these two lanterns, guys. This is the original patent. This is the cheap Chinese knockoff. Not much difference. Now the cheap Chinese knockoff is just a slight bit bigger, like 2 millimeters bigger there on the top. On the bottom, they did not add, on the original patent, you can see the original patent number right there. They did not add the hook or the magnetic base. So these little design changes are how they were able to hawk this damn thing without having, you know, a lawsuit pressed on them for the patent, because they look almost exactly the same, but this one has features that this one doesn't. They changed the design, and whenever it comes to the mechanics of the thing, this one here has a single LED strip on the inside there. That's just one strip of LEDs. This one here has double that. The LED mounts on the inside of this one, there's 30 LEDs on the original patent, and they are mounted on very thick, heavy plastic bars as opposed to the thin strips in the cheap knockoff. So whenever I open this damn thing up, it's twice as bright, just because it's got twice the LEDs in it. We took this out, what was it, about 2 weeks ago? Hey, Dixie. We took this out about 2 weeks ago and tested it out on a night hike. I had taken these here, and again, here's another design flaw. I don't know what these handles are made out of on the cheap knockoff, but these here are stainless steel. These here come out of their mounts all the damn time. They're just too flimsy. So if I'm carrying this, chances are it's going to fall off of my belt. I took this out on a night hike with the stainless steel handles nice and tight, and we beat the shit out of this light just because I was testing it up against this one. I thought this one was going to fail too, and it didn't. I had this on my thigh, wide open, getting knocked around the whole damn time I'm running through the woods in the middle of the night, and it didn't flicker. So there's a tale of caution. This is a cheap knockoff light. This one here is like 10 bucks, right? This one here is like 13, and it's the original patent. This one failed, this one didn't. So you kind of get what you pay for. If you're looking at gear though, oh, I wouldn't doubt that exactly, Dixie. You don't know what China's throwing into this plastic. They could be throwing all their garbage into that plastic and, you know, just molding it into something else. But this here, American made, and yeah, I wanted to beat the shit out of it against a cheap knockoff just to see what would happen. That's true. And another thing that I've used is just like a 2-liter bottle. And if I'm carrying hand soap with me, take the hand soap, fill that 2-liter bottle up with water, or even murky water, like muddy up the water, and then put your light behind it, and it turns it into a lantern. Because the light reflects off of all the particles in the water, and you use that 2-liter bottle as your lantern. You can either put the 2-liter bottle on top of it and it'll light up that way, or you just put it behind it, and it just spreads your light out further. This light here, when I was carrying it, we got about 30, 40 yards away from the light and you can still see everything on the ground, and it was just sitting on a downed tree log. You know, so I set it on a log and you can see everything around you forever. This would be great for lighting up your camp. Tactical flashlight just for hiking through the woods. This does blind you. If you're trying to walk with this thing, it will blind the shit out of you. So you got to carry it down low, which is why I have it on my hip. So whenever I'm out, you know, hiking, if I want to have this open, I'm not holding it like this. You know, like them old timers with the oil lanterns and things like that. I'm not holding it up like this trying to see my way through the woods, because it's just going to blind you. You'll never see past the thing. I just hook it on my belt right there, open it up, and that's my light. That's hands-free. Now if I want to go a little bit more hands-free, then I just use, sorry about that. If I want to go a little bit more hands-free, then I just use, you know, regular old cheap headlamp. This is got 3 rechargeable batteries in it. It's got a charging port in it, so I can charge this on one of my packs, and it'll keep going even after the batteries died. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm gonna grab something real quick. Alright, we're back in business. All this damn talking's making me thirsty. Alright, before we go on, share it, tweet it, post it on Facebook, let everybody know we're in here. We're going to do that again. Alright, so those are the lights that I normally carry. Like I said, this one here can handle cold ass weather, and it's got the charging ports in it. Use this for night hiking, and I do love hiking in the woods at night. A lot of people go out into the woods, and whenever it starts getting dark, they don't want to go nowhere. They huddle down around their campfire because they're afraid of the boogeyman. Not me. I'm going out there hunting. We track raccoons. I used to go coon hunting when I was a kid, so hiking through the woods at night is no big deal for me. Tactical flashlight's good to use for that. Or the headlamp. You got the headlamp. Or the original patent lantern. I always carry at least 2 lights with me. I'm not going to just depend on one, because I've had one fail on me before and I had it switched to the backpack. Japanese made stuffs. I have a lot of Japanese made stuffs in this house, but not practical for the outdoors. You guys seen that in the last episode of Huntsman, right? When I was out with the katana? Yeah. Workout. Alright, so, moving on. Everybody knows the Altoids can, right? Fill this with your kindling. Matches, anything. Everybody uses Altoids can for, you know, various things. They're just great compact cans. They can fit in your back pocket if you don't want to fit them in your backpack. These are great to carry with you. But we have alternatives to the Altoids can, and I'm going to give you guys a major secret on this live stream that I've been keeping under wraps. This is some top secret shit that I'm about to share with you guys. And we're actually going to try to do this in the near future and try to get other people doing this too. So, the Altoids can, carrying cotton or kindling, char cloth, things like that. Everybody does that shit. And the Altoids tin is actually good for making char cloth. Just poke a hole in the top, drop it in the fire, you know, use denim. Is it good to make char cloth or cotton? Whatever you want to do. It's good for making it. It's good for carrying it. Alternative to the Altoids can, if you want something a little bit smaller, is this one here. The Camel Snooze can. A little bit smaller, a little bit more compact. It's not going to hold as much as your Altoids can, but if you're trying to save space, that's just another tin that you might be able to use. for some char cloth. Now, on to my secret. I'm gonna have to take a drink before I tell you guys this, because I wasn't gonna release this idea until I actually did it in an episode, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about it since we're talking about gear right now. Alright, so I have this trick that I use, especially if I'm gonna be out in heavy weather. So you guys know the fire logs, right? Like, just for starting a campfire at home, you got these fire logs that are made out of. Oh yeah, the snus can. This is actually great. What I use this can for is keeping my fishing hooks in, and a bit of spare line. I'll keep like 2 or 3 eagle claw hooks in here, and fishing line. This is actually my fishing kit. And then on the lid, on the top, I'll tape 2 flies on the top lid, and then my line and everything down at the bottom. So yeah, I just made these into a fishing kit. It'll hold 2 hooks, 2 flies on the top, and a good length of line. So as far as an emergency fishing kit, yeah, good deal. And then I use the Altoids can for fire. Now, I dip, and I know Tom dips too. So, we get into this, go back to what I'm talking about here, because I get off track. The fire logs that you guys see that are made out of pressed wood, right? It's got, like, you know, fucking some liquid fire starter. It's soaked pressed wood. And all they really did was take the sawdust, they grind it up a little bit into powder, they press it into a block, and you get this fire log, right? And you see them hawked everywhere, Walmart, all these other places where you can just, you know, hold a lighter up to the thing or spark it, and the damn thing just lights up. Well, the problem with those fire logs is they tend to be a little bit heavy. So what I did was I took one of the fire logs, and I took a file, and I started filing off part of the fire log until I filled up my dip can with it. And then I pressed it into the dip can, formed it into a puck, basically. So I took, you know, a $2 or $3 fire log, I filled up 20 cans, dip cans, with this powder from the fire log. It's got that, you know, it's treated so it just sparks up real easy, and I call it fire dip. So I could just take a pinch of that, put it on my fire, just like dipping. Take a pinch out, put it on my kindling, and spark it right up. So that was the idea that I came up with, and I called it fire dip just because I was putting it in dip cans. I didn't want to carry the heavy block with me. So I took that block and I just condensed it down into something that I normally carry, which is a dip can in my back pocket. So again, having it in a skull can, it keeps it waterproof because it's a plastic can. It's never going to really wear out on you. If they do get a little old, they might crack, or if they get cold in the wintertime, they might crack. But yeah, I was just taking those fire logs and, yeah, I know, Dixie had trademarked that shit. Trademark fire dip. You guys heard it right here first on the live stream. Fire dip was Huntsman's idea, goddammit. Anybody goes out there and copies it, you owe me $1. So yeah, just taking those fucking fire logs in a file and just grinding it down until you fill up your dip can, and then you just take a pinch out, and that's all you need to spark your fire. You get that extra little oomph to your fire, so it's almost better than carrying Vaseline or something like that. Fire dip is a good idea. Somebody should go ahead and market fire dip. Just slap my name on it and give me a royalty. And all you got to do is take them damn blocks and grind them up, put them in a dip can. So you can probably get blank dip cans, just the plastic cans, not Skoal or Copenhagen or something like that. Just a blank can that don't have no labeling on it or anything like that. Make your fire dip. Put your channel logo right there, you know, a sticker logo right there. And sell your own damn fire dip. Tell them you got the idea from me. Damn it, Dixie. I always wondered where that came from. You know, fat wood, that's another thing, Tom. And get your thoughts on this right quick. What if we was to do the same concept with fat wood? If we took fat wood in a file and ground it down into powder and had fat wood fire dip. So we got two brands now. We got the chemical soaked sawdust, which makes up the fire logs for one style of Huntsman's fire dip. And then we got the fat wood, 100% pure fat wood, ground down into sawdust, made for fire dip. It's got the resin in it, right? It should light up. And if you have it in here, I think that resin would hold up. And then we come up with a third can that's got extra resin in it. So we take some pine sap and grind that shit down and put extra resin in there. Yeah, fat dust. Okay, J in the 6. There we gotta confirm. Fat dust. So when you're cutting up your fat wood, you're sawing that shit up into handles, or you're just processing your wood, put the sawdust into a dip can and call it fire dip. So you just take a pinch out, put it on there, spark that shit up, and you're good to go. So there, we gave this secret away to Huntsman's fire dip. I kept my dip cans, and my wife was like, "You're dipping too much." And I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm warehousing dip cans." So now that I'm talking about it, I want one. So yeah, I saved all of my dip cans, and then I went out and bought one of them blocks and filled the dip cans up with pitch, basically. I mean, it's just fire dip. I know fire dip sounds sketchy. I thought it was a great idea. I was gonna throw it out. I was gonna but you know, there's a whole process to coming up with that shit. And if I could give you guys an idea for free, I'll give you an idea for free. The Huntsman's fire dip, that was an epic idea. That's probably a claim to fame that somebody's gonna run off with. One of you sons of bitches probably already ran off. I seen the chat window drop from 15 to 11. Them motherfuckers are out there patenting fire dip right now, stealing my idea. The problem is, this is a live stream. We have it chronicled right here. Fire dip came from Huntsman. Well, I got a timestamp on this shit. So if you go out there and try to steal my idea, I'm gonna jump in on it. So yeah, fire dip is a good brand. No, it's just like fat rope. Fat rope ain't shit. It's just fucking processed cotton. But you see a lot of guys out there using fat rope and shit like that now just because it's hyped up. I like fire dip just because I'm a dipper. I guess you're not supposed to be drinking and dipping on YouTube no more, but we're drinking and dipping on YouTube because I only make demonetized videos anyway. What the hell are they gonna do to me? Alright, moving on. On top of our fire dip, if you are very careful with your ferro rod, and if you guys know what your ferro rod actually is, you can take shavings from your ferro rod and add it into your fire dip. Now what's going to happen when you add shavings from, if you go real slow on this and you just shave off your ferro rod and add it to your fire dip, what's going to happen is you'll have sparks inside that fire that are like 15,000 fucking degrees to help catch your wood on fire. So there's our third brand of fire dip. It's got shavings from a ferro rod in it to help start your fire. So you can actually take one of your older ferro rods, like that one that's like wore down. You know how you see guys out there that use their ferro rod so damn much it looks like an hourglass? Yeah, take that old ferro rod, the last little bit of ferro rod that you got on there, and real slowly grind that shit down, not to where it sparks, just grind it down and add it to your fire dip. So recycle the last little bits of your ferro rod. Put it in your fire dip. It'll help you get your fire going. So yeah, I beat the shit out of that ferro rod, you can tell. And then the other rod that I use is this little sumbitch. I've used it quite a bit, and it's got the extra magnesium bar on it. So See, Dixie, I need you as my manager. I really do. Yeah, this is the other striker that I use. I don't like these tiny ass little strikers though. They are not very reliable. In an emergency situation, something like that would be a good backup, but I always go with a steady ferro with a steady. Ugh, motherfuck! Always go with a steady ferro rod, something that you've tested before. Whoo! Moving on. Alright, so we talked earlier in this live stream, we talked about backpacks and how companies like Hidden Woodsman and a bunch of others out there are charging you guys a month's rent for a fucking backpack just to carry your shit in. It ain't no different. See, there we go, Tom. Fire dip could be a thing. We could make like 20 different styles of fire dip. Huntsman's fire dip. Each of them with something different in it. You know, whether it's magnesium or whatever to get your damn fire going. And it's just dust. You just take a pinch, you drop it on. It's just like fat rope, really. You can get fat rope in a can. But ours is better because it's called fucking fire dip. It ain't called fat rope. It ain't like you're burning fat. That just sounds disgusting. Fire dip sounds cool. Alright, Dixie. Thank you, sweetheart. I'll see you later. Alright, yeah. So, we went through backpacks. And just to recap on that. I carry the $20 total pack. Folds up nice and neat. It's got the charging port in it, and it's everything that I need as far as a backpack, and it's flimsy as fuck. If I'm going out for a day hike or an overnight or something like that, I don't need more than that. I don't need a $400 fucking backpack to go for a weekend or anything like that. 20 bucks, total pack, got a charging port in it, all the pockets you could ever need. I've tested it out for a year. It's made out of ripstop nylon. It's got shit tons of, you know, of value to it for 20 bucks. I would choose this pack over a Hidden Woodsman Day Ruck any day. And the reason I would is because it's 20 fucking bucks. And it serves its purpose, which is to carry your shit. I'm not going to go out there and spend $400 for something else that does the same damn thing and no more than what this does. So, Malcolm over there at Hidden Woodsman, you know, he's charging people an arm and a leg for his packs, and he don't have nothing but nickels and dimes in them, and they serve a single fucking purpose. The only purpose of those backpacks is to carry your shit. The only purpose of this $20 backpack is to carry your shit. They both do it the same fucking way. They carry your shit. That's it. So don't be falling into that hype shit. I don't give a shit if Joe Robinette says it, or TA Outdoors says it, or whatever dick you want to suck says it. A $20 pack, $10 pack, $5 pack, get it at a fucking garage sale. I don't care. Do not go out there and burn your money up on these goddamn hyped up packs just because some little bastard who grew up in a fucking city wants to go out and get fucking paid to be in the fucking woods. And see, this is the part where I always get angry. I grew up here. I grew up in the country. I grew up on a farm right on the edge of a federal game reserve. All of the wildlife in that federal game reserve was protected. That was red zone. You could not hunt there. You could not do shit there with those animals. So you could go out there and watch them. You couldn't hunt them. So I grew up around monster fucking bucks that could not be hunted. I grew up around, you know, the Canadian geese, snakes, all that shit. I was in the woods every fucking day, all through my childhood. And then I see these little city slicker sons of bitches with a massive social media following going out there. And Joe Robinette, if you look at his very latest video, That little skinny bastard had to be paid to go on a fishing trip. He went out and found a sponsor to pay him to go on a fishing trip. And he spun this off saying, oh, well, my sponsors are outdoor guys. Shut the fuck up, Joe. Just fucking stop the shit already. Either you're an outdoorsman or you're a fucking salesman. And if you start off every single fucking video on your channel with, this video was sponsored by, or, hey, I got a new Hidden Woodsman day ruck, which is like the 14th version of the same goddamn thing, you're nothing but a fucking snake oil salesman. And you're leading people wrong. So, I come on the scene, and I say, fuck Hidden Woodsman day ruck and all of their backpacks. I'll go out and buy me one for $20 and do the same fucking thing you do and do it better and more entertaining. Fuck Heavy Cover and their goddamn expensive ass canteens and their little titanium cup that cost you 40 bucks. 40 bucks for a coffee cup. So, I go out to Walmart and I buy me a $3 stainless steel cup that I've been using. And you can tell I beat the shit out of that thing. And I've used this ever since the series started. I did not go out and buy a heavy covered titanium cup just because little Joey Robinette said so. Or TA Outdoors said so. Or anybody else that they paid to say so said so. I just went out and got what I could afford. Well, not really what I could afford. I mean, I could always fork off money for a big-ass fucking cup, but I'm just making coffee. Why the fuck do I need to drink my coffee out of a $40 cup? I'd rather spend $40 on the coffee grounds that come from Brazil that got shit out by a fucking cat. Spend now, if you want to spend $40 on the grounds themselves and have yourself a fancy ass cup of coffee while you're out in the woods, that's one thing. But if you're going to be drinking out of a $40 fucking heavy covered titanium cup, you're just a fucking arrogant little asshole. So, a couple bucks for the cup. Use me just fine. No dents, no nothing. And it's lightweight. The only other thing that I got as far as cup-wise that you guys have seen me use is the Kuxa. Now, the Kuxa is a little bit different story than just heating up your coffee because this is a traditional piece. And, you know, people that use Kuxas are really into Scandinavian outdoors. And there's a lot of reasons for being into Scandinavian style outdoors. Over in the Scandinavian countries, they have the wilderness and nature ingrained into their everyday lives. It's not something that they do as a hobby. It's something that they just fucking do. And that's why, you know, Maja Odin with, you know, the knife that I mentioned earlier. Exactly, Jay. You don't need anything more than that, brother. You really don't. The only reason they're marking that shit up is because people buy into it. They think it's going to make it more popular. It's not. If I went right now while you guys were watching, and I said, hey, on this live stream we're going to go buy our very first Hidden Woodsman backpack and a heavy cover ink titanium canteen. We're going to do it right here on the live stream. And then we're going to go out tomorrow. We're going to test them out in the field. See how they hold up against anything else. They're not going to do anything spectacular. There's no magic to them. The only thing that you're paying for is the goddamn logo. The only thing that you're buying into is Joe Robinette or TA Outdoors or somebody else hyping this shit up. And the reason the companies go to these guys to hype their shit up is the same fucking reason Amazon stores are coming to me saying, hey, Huntsman, we want you to show off our lantern. We want you to show off our flashlight. We want you to show off this. We want you to show off that. We want you to, you know, we want to tap into your audience. They want to use me to use you guys. That's why they're doing it. Now, when it comes to like Vaughn, they got in touch with me and said, hey, we saw your video and we want you to compare these two lanterns. I was on that shit because I got cheated on that little fucking Chinese knockoff, right? So I was like, okay, Vaughn's the original patent holder to this design. I had justification for comparing these two lights because it was personal now. I was out in a polar fucking vortex and the light failed me. Vaughn says ours won't do that. Try ours out. You know, and basically making up for this ripoff. Well, they didn't have to do that, but they know that that ripoff is out there. So I was justified in doing that. But you guys are never going to see me get on YouTube and say this video was sponsored by. You're not going to see me saying, I'm only going fishing today because this company paid me to go fishing today. And in turn, I got to plug their product for you. If a company gets a hold of me and says, hey, we'd like you to show off our product on your channel, the only motivation they have to do it isn't because they like me as a person, because I'm a dick. The only reason they're doing it is because my channel gets a shit ton of views and I have a pretty decent following. Now, I'm not the biggest YouTuber out there yet, but I get a shit ton of views and I have a pretty decent following, so they're trying to tap into my audience. They're trying to tap into you guys. They're trying to use me to get to you. That's what these stores are doing. Amazon is all over my ass every single day trying to get to you guys. Most of the time, I turn them down. They're not paying me to put anything in my videos. They're not saying, hey, we'll sponsor your video. We'll give you $500 if you plug our product first before you go on your little fishing trip. No. They're just sending me gear to take out to the woods, beat the shit out of, and see if it works. If it doesn't work, I'm going to say it doesn't work. Just like I did with that little cheap knockoff lantern. I'm not going to show you guys any piece of fucking gear that doesn't work. So, it's just like the backpack. Total Pack got a hold of me and said, hey, try this backpack out. They've done it to a million fucking YouTubers. I'm not original. I'm not special. I just happen to have a little bit of an audience. So Total Pack sent me their pack. I've tested it out for a year. I know the damn pack works. I know the damn Total Pack for 20 bucks works in a fucking Hidden Woodsman day pack for fucking $400. And I know that because I've tried it. So whenever it comes to all these sponsors, YouTube sponsors, everybody obsessed with making money on fucking YouTube, forget about it. You're not going to see it on my channel. My channel's not even fucking monetized, guys. So all of the videos you guys see, you don't see ads on there. I'm not getting ad revenue. I'm not jumping on that fucking bandwagon of trying to turn YouTube into a career. I'm just doing my fucking thing. And I hope that keeps me honest as I go through this and we develop the channel a little bit more. And I hope it makes other people consider what they're fucking doing on YouTube and consider what they're really doing out in the woods. Because for me, being out in the woods is a lifestyle, and for them, being out in the woods is a possible cash cow. That makes us different. That gives us a different approach. That gives us different reasonings for being out there. Those guys aren't out there trying to experience the wilderness and trying to survive. They're out there trying to fucking make money. And whenever you're out there in a survival situation, I don't give a shit how much fucking money I have in my wallet. I could have $10,000 in this wallet. I'm out in the wilderness in a survival situation. That fucking money ain't even going to start my fire for me because the fucking cotton paper they use to make money doesn't burn very well. And there's nobody to trade it to. Money ain't going to do you a goddamn bit of good if shit hits the fan or you're in an actual survival situation. What is going to do you good is gear that actually fucking works. And it doesn't work because it's got a fancy fucking logo on it or because some little city slicker son of a bitch said that it works. We go out and we test our products and we test them hard. We test them in all different weather conditions. Hey, Freedom, nice to see you, brother. Scallop season, huh? That's one thing I can say I never hunted with scallops. Good though. So yeah, you guys need quality gear. You need gear that works. Not gear that's hyped up, not gear that's pushed by your fucking outdoors heroes. I'm not trying to be your hero. If anything, I'm the goddamn anti-hero. I'm not buying into all the hype. I never have, and I never will. Going back to the Kuxa. I do drink my cup of coffee in the morning out of a Kuxa. The reason I do that is just because of history. The Scandinavian countries, like I was saying there before we got on the tirade, Scandinavian countries had the outdoors ingrained into their everyday life. That's not a hobby for them. It's not a cash cow for them. It's just something that they do almost every single day. They're out there all the damn time. It's just the Nordic way of life, having the wilderness ingrained. And it doesn't matter where you live at. Even if you live in the heart of a city, you run off into the woods all the damn time. You hate it when the heels fall off of your shoes. The Naughty Stripper, that's one hell of a YouTube name. Classy. Okay, Jay, so don't get me started on fucking breakfast bagels. It is the most important meal of the day, though, breakfast. You know, I was reading an article earlier that said pizza is the best thing you could fucking eat for breakfast. So, yeah. Now think of this. Now, Jay's, I'm gonna need another drink. We gotta go a little bit harder than beer right now, guys, okay? So, we go up here to the old liquor cabinet. And up here, I don't know if you guys can make this out. We got wine and sake and scotch and bourbon, 2 different kinds of bourbon. We got whiskey, we got more wine. Yeah, I got a liquor cabinet back here. Yeah. So, we're switching from beer to Maker's Mark. Okay, so, look at YouTube like this. Yeah, I need a drink. So, you get a YouTuber, right? And he's got a massive following. Little Joey Robinette is over 1 million subscribers now. Now, of those 1 million subscribers, he sure as hell don't get 1 million views. He gets about 10% of that because about 50% of his subscriber base aren't active accounts. They ain't even looking at his goddamn channel anymore. So, little Joey, here's his spin. Hey, Jefferson. Joe Robinette gets a sponsor from Squarespace, right? Squarespace says, hey, we'll pay you $100. Go out and plug our product. Put it on your YouTube channel. Just because he's got 1 million followers. So Joe Robinette takes the money from Squarespace, which has absolutely fucking nothing to do with the outdoors, or survival, or bushcraft, or anything like that. They just set up a website for you. TA Outdoors has done the same. Squarespace gets a hold of these guys, says, hey, we'll pay you X amount of money to go out and plug our product, plug our website, get your subscribers to come join us. So little Joey Robinette goes out with his money in his pocket from Squarespace, and he's out there for half an hour. He cooks himself up a breakfast bagel, and that's all he does. Half an hour, that's his job, that's his employment, that's how he calls himself a man. He goes out to the woods for a half an hour with his little dog. He makes a breakfast bagel. He goes home. Squarespace gets their advertisement. So you look at Joe's video, it's a 10-minute advertisement from Squarespace, 15 minutes of fixing a breakfast bagel. Little sumbitch goes home, watching Netflix on, and that's it. That's his life. And he calls himself a man. TA Outdoors does the same. All these big bushcrafters, all of them buying into all these sponsors and shit like that, saying YouTube is my career. YouTube is my job. Blah, 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 blah. That's that young pup mentality. That's the new age assholes. I'm a little bit older. I was raised a little bit different way. I'm not going to try to use YouTube as a fucking handout, as a social security program, because that's all these guys are doing. They don't want to go out there and actually have a real job. They work 1-2 days a week, and they get this free ride through life, and they think that gives them dignity. And all of their followers worship them, and they think that gives them hype. So whenever these companies come to them and say, you know, like Hidden Woodsman or Heavy Cover or Squarespace, there's actually a website. And if you guys are interested, if you want to sell your soul, there's websites out there that you can sign up on and plug your channel and get sponsors to pay you to film YouTube videos. That's how everybody does it. There are websites out there where you can get sponsors to get paid to make YouTube videos. I don't get paid to make YouTube videos. I don't even get ad monetization. I don't get nothing. Now, last week, I got fired from my job. I have no income right now. No job, which is why I'm doing this live stream in the middle of the afternoon. I don't have my truck no more. Wife and I had problems. Going through a divorce. All this shit happening, right? Still, in spite of everything, I will still not monetize my YouTube channel where I'm pulling in ad revenue. I will still not sign up for one of those websites where I'm getting sponsors from Squarespace or any of these other people trying to hawk off wares. Not going to whore my channel out, my reputation out, and my story out to plug shit just to make money. All these YouTubers out there, the big YouTubers, if their video starts off with "this video is sponsored by," you know what kind of person that they are. You know what they're trying to do to you. They're trying to whore you out to these companies. They see you as nothing but a statistic, nothing but a number, nothing but a potential cash cow. I have a problem with that. And I'm always going to have a problem with that. I'm always going to have a problem with YouTubers or anybody else. They call them social media influencers, trying to take advantage of their following, the passion of their following, and turn it into profit. I can't justify it to myself. And I've had, you know, other YouTubers, small YouTube channels, 10 times smaller than mine. As soon as they hit 1,000 subscribers and they can be monetized, that's all they think about is monetization, follow the rules so we don't get demonetized. All of my fucking videos are demonetized. I dip, I smoke, I drink, I cuss a lot. I'd be demonetized anyway, because YouTube's supposed to be this safe space where everybody, you know, has their little fucking soft ass feelings protected and shit. It's not me. So, the side point of that is, you know, I do get companies sending me outdoors gear. Hell yeah, I'll go try your fucking outdoors gear. You want to send me a free flashlight? I have no investment in it. If I go out there and the damn thing fails, I'm going to tell everybody on my channel, don't buy this Chinese piece of shit because it ain't going to hold up. If Malcolm over at Hidden Woodsman said, "Hey, Huntsman, we seen you finally reach 2 million views on your channel, which is coming up. We want to send you a free Hidden Woodsman backpack for you to put up on your channel, for you to go out there and show off that you got a Hidden Woodsman backpack now, that you're part of the exclusive club. You're VIP Bushcrafter now. Just like little Joey Robinette or TA Outdoors or Survival Lily or any of them other whores. I tell Malcolm to go to hell. And I tell Malcolm to go to hell not because I don't like the guy. I do like the guy. I just think that whenever you're marking up your product 10,000 times between production and sales, you're an asshole. Now, as a man, he's a good guy. He'll talk to you. He'll support you. They'll even give you a shout out if you ask him to. As a businessman, he's a fucking viper. And you ain't nothing but a number. You ain't nothing but potential profit. So that's why he's tapping in. That's why he climbed in bed with Joe Robinette. That's why he climbed in bed with TA Outdoors. That's why he climbed in bed with Survival Lily. All these big YouTubers who have, 500,000 or 1 million subscribers. It's because of that subscriber base. It's because of you guys. They ain't big because they're authentic outdoorsmen. They're big because they've been around a little bit and they got that following. That's why companies are tapping into them. And they're letting those companies tap into them. They're whoring themselves out for a couple of bucks, and in turn are whoring you guys out, giving you all this fucking hype around gear that you don't need in a shit hit the fan situation, that you don't need in a survival situation, that you don't need just to go out hiking, that you don't need to go out camping, that you don't need to go out on a fucking 10-day overnighter. You don't need the shit. It ain't gonna serve you any better than a $20 backpack. It ain't gonna serve you any better than a $3 cup. It just does what it does. It holds shit. Whether it's a cup or a backpack or a fanny pack or whatever, it just holds shit. You can do the same thing with the towel in your bathroom that goddamn $400 backpack does. And I hope you guys get that. And I hope you understand what these big YouTubers and these big people that call themselves social media influencers are really doing to you. You fall in love with these people. You worship them. You're in there kissing their asses all the fucking time. I love your videos. I love that Bushcraft bagel. That's the best Bushcraft bagel I ever seen made in my life. You're my fucking hero. Why? Why is Joe Robinette your fucking hero? The kid don't do nothing. He don't have a job. He just goes out and fixes breakfast bagels. Goes on little fishing trips that are paid for by Squarespace who have nothing to do with the outdoors. Exactly, Tom. Yes, you can. So, when you get into YouTube, if you're a guy like me and you're on a budget or you're just an anal asshole and you don't like to spend your money, you're not going to buy into that. And you're sure as hell not going to hawk it off to your subscribers, because if I was to go out and buy a Hidden Woodsman, right, or if Malcolm was to send me a Hidden Woodsman backpack, his is the most expensive backpack, said I'll send you this sumbitch for free the same day. Heavy Cover gets in contact with me and says, Huntsman, I'm going to send you that goddamn titanium canteen you've been bitching about so much. I want you to go out and try this sumbitch for free. Why are they going to do that? It ain't because they like me. Those guys hate my fucking guts. And the feeling's mutual. The reason they're going to do that is because of you guys. Because you guys are watching me. They're not trying to get to me. They're trying to get to you. Burlap sacks. I remember that from the chat, Tom. And you guys are just coming in. You got to go out and check out the Facebook group, Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival. Tom goes live on Mondays. You got to check his chats out. Now, whether you get in there during the live stream or you listen to it afterwards, Tom is the guy to listen to. I listen to every fucking stream he does. I might not be in that live stream with him, but I listen to every stream he does like it's a goddamn radio broadcast. I learn more from Tom Ritter than anybody. The guy knows what he's talking about, and he's not gonna sell you guys snake oil. He's not going to lead you guys the wrong way like your heroes do. You got to find the older guys, the guys that have been around for a minute, the guys that actually fucking have a life experience in the wilderness, have life experience with gear that they've used their entire fucking lives. We're not talking about like me where I go out and test this gear for a year or I go out and test this gear on an overnight hike. We're talking... These guys have done this their entire lives. Those are the guys you should be talking to. Those are the guys you should be following. If you're not, you're a goddamn idiot. You're just on this bandwagon. And you're going to lose more than you gain. I do not go out and bust my ass to make whatever money I can just so I can hand it off to somebody else. It's just the way I'm made. And I'm not gonna, it's just like Huntsman fire dip, right? I come up with this idea where I'm grinding down a fire log, putting it in my dip can, and I use that to spark my campfires with, make it go a little bit faster. I'm not gonna go out and patent that idea. I just gave it to you for free. Anybody can go out and patent that goddamn idea. You saw it here first. Give me a little credit. But it's not a revolutionary idea. It's just I didn't want to carry a goddamn 5-pound brick in my backpack, so I ground the son of it down into a little pinch, put it in a dip can, called it fire dip. Sounded cool. Could probably market it, probably make a shit ton of money off of it too. I could probably be a millionaire selling Huntsman's fire dip. Not gonna do it. Because I'd just be whoring you guys out. It sounded cool. Put a fancy fucking label on it. Huntsman's fire dip. Sounds great. Turned me into a businessman, an entrepreneur. Big ass YouTuber. Just because I came up with fire dip. Nah, guys. I'll get me another job. I'll go out and earn my money the fucking hard way. We'll go out and buy a $20 backpack, $10 backpack, fucking schoolyard backpack from Walmart. We'll go out and test that son of a bitch out. I'll guarantee you, if I went to Walmart right now, got the cheapest school backpack that they had, it would carry my shit just as well as a Hidden Woodsman $500 backpack. Because it's the same fucking thing. Yeah, social media is out of control. Everybody wants to be a social media influencer. I'm a social media influencer. I mean, look at my channel. I got almost 2 million views in a year and a half. Almost 10,000 subscribers. That's pretty fucking good for a year and a half's worth of work, right? So I guess I'm a social media influencer. I got a little over 300 followers on Instagram. Got 200 on Twitter. A few hundred on Facebook. I got a whole social media network wrapped around my channel. That's how I grow. I share with people. I network with people. I respect people. I'm not just, like, if I go to a YouTube group, I'm not going to go in there just to plug my fucking channel. I'm going to go in there just like today. This whole live stream, this whole bit that we're doing right now was inspired by Tom Ritter right there in the chat in Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival Facebook group. Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival Facebook group is not there to make a profit. They're there to share information. And the information that you'll see from Tom there on Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival, you won't see anywhere else. You're not going to see guys go out there and talk about the shit that Tom's talking about. You're not going to see that point of view from anybody else. Look at that shit. It does add up overnight. That adds up in one trip. What I was saying, you're not going to see guys talk about what Tom's talking about. You're not going to see him talking about stuff that he's used his entire life through military service, through everything that he's been through. You're not going to see him talk about that because they're not trying to talk about authenticity. They're not talking about tried and tested stuff, whether it's Army surplus. Army surplus. Look at that shit, guys. The fucking military, whatever country you're from, Army surplus. Military grade equipment. Military is not going to get some cheap Chinese knockoff to give to their troops. They're also not going to buy into the fucking hype. They want shit that works. Shit that's going to last for years. Shit that's going to last through a fucking explosion. You know, you can get a military surplus backpack, get hit by a fucking landmine, your ass is blown up, but the backpack's fine. It's crazy. Fucking crazy. But now, we live, and I've mentioned this before, we live in this society where everything's based on social media. Everybody wants to be the social media influencer because that's the new Social Security program. They don't have to have a day job. They don't have to go out there and bust their asses. All they have to do is take a photo of their tits or fucking plug Squarespace on YouTube. Send out a fucking political tweet. And they make money. That's the world we live in. That world is not going to last. Eventually, everybody's going to get sick of that shit. We're not going to live in a cyber world forever. Shit hit this fan situation. Now, I'm not a prepper. I don't really just subscribe to the prepper paranoia. But, what if? What if shit did hit the fan? What if the grid went down? What if all this social shit, social networking, YouTube, all of this shit was gone? Do you really think that fucking Hidden Woodsman backpack or that fucking heavy covered titanium canteen is going to save your fucking ass just because it's got a logo on it? So when I go out to the wilderness, I go out there and I focus on the wilderness, not on the logos. I went through this entire year and a half not talking about what brand of backpack that I use, what brand of light that I'm using, what brand of fucking hammock that I'm using, what brand of saw, or any of that other shit. You've never seen me get on YouTube and say this video was sponsored by Squarespace, or this video was sponsored by some son of a bitch out there who's just trying to fucking tap into your bank account through me. I go out there and I try to share with you guys the realities of the situation day by day. And it's different every fucking day. I go out there and you guys hear me talk about how much this shit sucks. Whether I'm, walking in the rain, walking in the snow and freezing my ass off, or just walking over the terrain and my legs are burning and I'm exhausted and I'm tired and I can't fucking focus. And I got all this personal shit coming up in my head. And the reason I do that is because in a real life survival situation, that's the shit you're going to go through. You're going to get beat up. You're going to have psychological and emotional factors that these other little panty sons of bitches aren't going to talk about. If you get into a survival situation, the first thing that you're going to have to confront is your goddamn self. So if I have personal stuff going on, and I take that out into that situation with me, that's the first challenge I got to overcome. It ain't starting a fire. It ain't building a shelter or anything like that. My life fucking sucks. I ought to just lay down under this bush and die. That's the psychological factors that you guys go through. In survival situations, all of your ghosts, all of your demons, all of your emotional insecurities, all of your psychological bullshit. When you can't get to your psych meds, when you don't have a safe space, when you don't have somebody that you can talk to about your little fucking feelings. Those are the shit, that's the shit that's going to fuck you up in a survival situation. That's the shit that's going to come up, slap you down, and curl you up in the fetal position, and you're just going to lay down and die. Because you were born and bred to be a pussy. That's the society you grew up in. Everybody is on some sort of fucking medication to control their emotions, or control their minds, or they got some fucking disease, or, everything's a fucking disease now. And they actually think they're fit enough to survive. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Jay's got a good point right there. Don't be the only light with the house on, with the lights on. So, these preppers, they like to brag about being preppers. They like to brag about their cache of weapons, their cache of gear, their cache of food. They get on YouTube, all over social media, and they tell you where all the shit's at. The last thing an actual fucking prepper is gonna do is tell you where all of his shit's at and what he's got. And you don't tell a guy like me, because I'm going to come and fucking stab you in the throat and take all your shit, you dumb fat son of a bitch. Fucking preppers, man. I don't mind them, really. They're just paranoid sons of bitches trying to brag up all the shit that they have. You're putting out a commercial saying, I have all this shit, come get it. And you got a psycho son of a bitch like me. What are you going to do? What the fuck are you gonna do? I got 40 guns, 17,000 rounds of ammunition. Right. I got a knife. I'm gonna fuck you up and take all your shit. They got all these guns and gun toters, man. They have this whole fucking cache of weapons and shit like that. You know how much those fucking guns weigh? I can't fucking carry them anywhere. They can't go nowhere with all that shit. You got these guys with these bunkers and this whole stash of fucking gear and this whole stash of food. You put all that together and it weighs 1 ton. What are you gonna do? Pull that in your little red wagon down the road? Sorry, guys. If you have to get mobile, all that shit that you wasted your entire life collecting ain't gonna do you a goddamn bit of good. You're gonna take what you can carry and that's it. Yep. Everything in their houses, man, they're just plugging it. I got this, I got that. Dumb. You're gonna put that out to the world. And most of the time, these prepper types, because they're entrepreneurs on social media, they at least have a P.O. box address, which gives you a general location where that cache is at, and you can track them down from there. So if you save those addresses, you save those locations, you save that longitude and latitude, you know where you can get a stash of shit somewhere within the area. Fucking stupid. Preppers aren't as smart as they think they are. And what makes them dumb is they brag about it. And I think that's what makes everybody dumb. It was when you start bragging about how good you are, or how prepared you are, or all this other shit. A real prepper, somebody that's really ready for a shit hit the fan situation, you're never going to hear a goddamn word from them because they ain't on social media. Oh, what else do we got as far as gear goes? The last little bit of gear that I'm going to be putting into this backpack before I head back down to base camp. You guys know about my thing with the wildlife and all of that kind of shit, right? Filming the wildlife has been huge for the channel. Getting close to the white-tailed deer and all of the shit that I do with the wildlife out there. And even the trail cam footage that I get. Exactly, Tom. Slowing things down here a little bit. As far as wildlife goes, we have a new herd to track. And I have not worked with them too much. I got them used to my scent, so whenever I'm up there in the woods, they don't get spooked off whenever I'm in the woods. Which is the complete opposite of what every goddamn hunter out there tells you. Every hunter out there, especially if they have a social media following, tells you need scent blocker and to spray yourself down with this, it'll mask your scent from wildlife. Well, I took the exact opposite approach with HB and his herd. What I did was wore a t-shirt to work and took that t-shirt out and I hung it up in the woods right where the fucking deer bed down. So what I did with that was they got used to my scent. They would come up and smell that shirt. They would smell me in the woods long after I was gone. They got so used to the potency of my scent and the fact that there was apples or some kind of food laying underneath that scent that they just became accustomed to it. If they smelled me, they knew that there was food. That was the trick that I used to get close to HB and the whitetail herd. And that's the trick that I'm using to get close to the new herd. I do the exact opposite of what every single fucking hunter out there does, saying mask your scent, mask your scent. You don't need to mask your scent. You want to get the deer in the area used to your scent. So when they smell you, they automatically think of something else. So I take a t-shirt, I wear it to work or I wear it around the house for a day. I take it out there and hang it up in a tree, put apples underneath it. So psychologically, the whitetail have to come up with an answer to this problem that I've presented to them. You get past my scent, you get the apples. Over time, they're relating my scent with food.
They know if they smell me, they're going to get something to eat. And it's going to be good. It's not just going to be blackberries from the field. It's going to be corn, or it's going to be apples, or it's going to be something like that. Or there's going to be a salt lick down there. If you smell me, there's fucking food in the area. Huntsman brought us something to eat. So I did the exact opposite of what hunters do. They mask their scent. I put my scent out there, get the deer in the area used to my scent, so whenever they do smell me in the woods, they're thinking one thing while I'm doing another. That's all it is. You got to get to their stomachs. It's wildlife psychology. You got to know how they think. They want food, water. They already got shelter. They already know where the water's at. Now, if you give them a food supplement that they can't normally get, like apples or a salt lick or a mineral site or something like that, something that they need to sustain their herd to make them healthier and stronger, they're going to run for it and they don't give a fuck what gets in their way. Eventually, they're going to get past the fear of smelling you and they're just going to go straight for that food. And eventually, and then after that, they associate your scent in the woods with food. So whenever they smell you, if they smell me down at camp right now, chances are they're going to come walking up because they think that I'm dropping something off for them, whether I am or not. Same in a hunting scenario. If I was hunting, I'd be hanging my damn t-shirt on my tree stand. The reason I do that is because underneath that tree stand, there might be some apples. Now that's way before hunting season. But they're associating my scent with the prospect of food. So if they smell me in the woods, they're going to think there's something up there that I need to go get. So whenever hunting season comes around, I don't put on scent blocker, I don't put on deodorant or nothing like that. I want to go out there smelling like me because that's what the deer smell. Whenever they smell me, they associate it with food. They come walking right up to me. So, in order to capture that on film, we use this here. And this is just a cheap-ass 8-man trail camera. About mid-range, this is the trail camera that we have filmed all of the wildlife on the Huntsman series with. Yep, Jay, that's the same way and that's the way I want it to be. I don't want the wildlife to be afraid of me. I don't want to scare them off. I want to bring them in closer. The reason I want to bring whitetail in closer is because they're extremely aware of everything at all times, and their senses are 1,000 times better than mine. Having a whitetail deer close to your camp keeps you safer than having a dog there. Because if that white-tailed deer isn't hearing a coyote or a wolf or a bear or anything in the area, some bitch ain't gonna move. White-tailed deer are a huge security device. If you want to feel comfortable in the woods, hang out with the deer. Because those guys are not gonna hang around anywhere there's danger, anytime they sense danger. So if you get in tune with the wildlife in your area, if you bring them closer to you, they'll let you know if something's wrong. But in order to do that, you got to make sure that they know that you're not wrong, that you actually belong there. So raccoons at night. If I'm at camp at night and I can bring in a raccoon, that raccoon's going to let me know if anything else is in the area, if a possum's in the area or another raccoon's in the area because of chatter. They'll get into a fight with that strange creature long before I ever have to. And they'll warn me that they're there. A raccoon will chatter at a bear. They'll chatter at a deer. They'll chatter at anything. It's the best security device you could have whenever you're sitting in the fucking woods in the middle of the night. But anyway, filming the wildlife, getting the wildlife on film like I do, I use this 8-man trail camera. This is the only trail camera that I've used throughout the Huntsman series, and that'll cost you about $60. Having this out there is, as a YouTuber, it's easy footage. Because I just put this thing out there and it's working 24/7 for 2 weeks straight. All I have to do is go retrieve the footage and I present it to you guys. You guys get to see the wildlife as they are without any human interaction, which is a bonus for you. You can go look at the wildlife streams on the Huntsman channel and you can study whitetail, you can study wild turkeys, you can study raccoons and how they behave in the wild. You can look at those videos and study them and learn their movements, learn how they interact with each other, and everything that I know you can learn from the trail cam videos, which is why we have it out there. Aside from using it as a trail cam, we also use it to film nighttime footage. So if I'm out on an overnighter, I can use this for the infrared camera that's in it and film myself at night if need be. So if I'm out there without a light, I went out there, it's been about a year ago, went out there with no light, no fire, no shelter, no nothing. Huddled up in a hemlock grove, and I used this to film myself overnight with. And we stayed out there all fucking night. It started raining the next day. Did not get wet, even without a tarp. No shelter at all. Just in a hemlock grove. Did not get wet until we left that hemlock grove. So you can survive in the wilderness with no fire, no shelter, no food, no water for a single night, and you'll be fine. Might be uncomfortable, but your fucking ass will be fine. Guarantee it. Ugh. And that's about it, guys. That's about it for the gear. I'm gonna be packing up that total pack. I'll have my axe. I'll probably throw the tarp in there, the 10x10 canvas tarp. My knife. I have my neck knife around my neck. And yeah, some fire dip, and that's it. We're gonna be heading out to camp. We'll start rebuilding the Bushcraft camp, or start the live stream. For those of you who are new, my Bushcraft shelter, I do not add anything to the shelter unless we're going live. So we'll be getting out there this week or this weekend. I'll let you guys know it well in advance when we're going to be doing the live stream from down at camp, not just here at my house. And we'll go through the gear that I carry with me. You guys saw all the gear that I own right here today. A couple of tricks with the Huntsman fire dip. You know, just grinding up that fire log, putting it in a dip can, using that to spark your fire with. All of the gear that I own is right here. You saw it in this live stream. I'm not going to go out and buy anything more expensive. I don't need anything else other than what I already have. If I did get anything more, it would sit on the shelf, and I would never actually fucking use it, never pack it, never, take it out with me. It would just be shit, taking up space that I don't really have. I mean, look at my house, it's already cluttered. Military surplus. The go-to sites. It's tried and tested, guys. You cannot get better than military surplus. Simple gear that you can afford, simple gear that's not hyped up by some YouTube entrepreneur or social media influencer. It's tried and tested by guys like me or guys like Tom, guys in the military. People have done this all their fucking life. They're not just some fucking hobby camper trying to spin it off as, whatever they're trying to spin it off as. I'm not doing this for a following. I'm not trying to do this to grow my channel. I don't make any money off of YouTube. My channel's not monetized. So it doesn't matter how many subscribers I have. It doesn't matter how many views I get. It doesn't matter what kind of gear that I have. It doesn't matter which Amazon store gets a hold of me. I ain't making a fucking dime. So that keeps me honest, and it keeps me from getting that corporate corruption that you guys run into so much from your favorite outdoorsmen. They might be your favorite. Little Joey Robinette cooking up a Bushcraft bagel might be the greatest fucking thing you've ever seen in your life, but he ain't gonna help you out. He ain't gonna give you a shout out in his videos. If you guys are in his comment section kissing his ass every time he posts a fucking video, he ain't gonna help you out on YouTube. Because if you go over better than he does, or you present something different than he does, you're taking away his ad revenue. TA Outdoors, if you go in and you jump on their comment section trying to tap into their subscriber base, you're taking away their ad revenue. Those big YouTubers that are in this for money aren't trying to help you out. They're just here for money. They want to keep their subscribers watching their shit, not watching your shit. So don't go looking to them for a shout out or a pat on the back or confirmation or verification of how good you are out in the wilderness. Just fucking go out in the wilderness and do your goddamn thing. Same with any other fucking YouTuber out there. It doesn't matter what genre you're in, what niche you think that you fit into, or what, you don't have a niche at all. I know some great guys on YouTube who've been bust their ass every fucking day, live stream every fucking day, post videos every fucking day. They don't get anywhere. They're not growing. And the reason they're not growing is not because they're not good people. It's because of their style, the kind of content that they're putting out. They're trying to fit in, and you cannot stand out and fit in at the same damn time. I've said it before. Uh, the reason I'm standing out, the reason my channel is growing the way that it is because I'm doing the exact opposite of what everybody fucking else is doing. I drink, I smoke, I dip, I cuss. I go out and buy cheap woodsman gear. I don't go out and buy all the hyped up shit. I'm not trying to sell you guys a product. I'm trying to come up with products that you can create yourself. It's just like this axe. This axe, you know, you can go out, anybody can go out and buy this fucking axe. It's cheap as hell. But it's a good quality axe. I'm about mid-range, I guess you could say. But, you know, I take this axe and I take a Dremel, carve up the handle, put a little stain on it, and make it a little bit more me. And everybody wants to know where the fuck they can get this axe at. You can't get this axe. I made it myself in my kitchen. There's no buying, an axe with all of those Nordic runes and all of those Nordic pictographs on it. I just carved it up myself. Do that. Go out and buy some cheap gear. Throw something extra on it. Make your own shit. Think. Imagine. You guys got to have an imagination, especially if you want to get into the outdoors survival shit. You have to be able to look at nature, see the pattern in nature, and imagine what you can make out of that pattern. Yeah, there are a couple YouTubes out there that just go out there and do bushcraft stuff and don't say a goddamn thing. That's a sign of insecurity. The bushcrafters that go out there and they don't say anything, it's a sign of psychological insecurity. They're antisocial. That antisocial behavioral syndrome will play against them in a survival situation. They got the wrong psychology for it. But they do give you a different perspective. They just get to the shit and they don't try to confabulate it with anything else. This is what it is. Alright guys, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up. Here in a little bit I gotta be heading out. I gotta make a trip. My sister is actually coming into town tonight from Indiana. So she's driving from Indiana all the way to Northeast Ohio. And her and her boyfriend's coming up to bring me a car. So I lost the truck with the whole breakup thing. But I got a car coming from Indiana tonight. So it should be around 6 or 7 o'clock tonight, and then I'll have transportation again, which means we'll be back out in the woods again, and, you know, life will be moving on a little bit faster than it has been. Anyway, Fire Dip. Huntsman's Fire Dip. One last shout out for Huntsman Fire Dip. That was the highlight of the show. Go out there and make yourself some goddamn Huntsman's Fire Dip. If you make a video using that stuff, if you go out and just get you a block, a fire starter, a log, grind that sumbitch up, throw it in a dip can, let everybody know that where you got the idea from. That's all I want from you. I'm not trying to take your money. Not even trying to take your respect. Whether you like me, love me, or hate me, my ass ain't going nowhere. But yeah, I gotta pack this stuff up, guys. I'm gonna get my pack together today. We'll be heading out throughout this week to process some of the wood up at the Bushcraft shelter. I go out there and I process the wood in advance, so you guys don't have to just see me sitting there sawing up wood like TA Outdoors likes to do. You know, where he's just sitting there sawing woods for the first 20 minutes of the video. He's cutting down the whole goddamn wood so he can build his mega structure and hype himself up a little bit more, and every structure's got to be bigger and bigger and bigger. We're not doing that. Whenever I go out to the woods, I'm processing up wood. I'll go out there and I'll cut all the wood up, have it ready to go for the live stream, do what I do with the whitetail deer, and you know, have them all ready to go, have the trail cam all set up, ready to go, so whenever I'm actually presenting to you guys during the live stream, all of that shit's ready. You don't have to go through any of that long processing bullshit. We just get right to it. What we're going to be doing in the next live stream We will be at camp. We'll be at what we're going to call the cabin, and we're going to be putting a stone floor in. I found some flat stone out there that we're going to be putting a whole stone floor in the bottom of the cabin. We're going to be building up the back wall with a fire reflector wall that will surround the fireplace and help protect the shelter from the fire in the fireplace. We'll be building the fireplace and putting that all together in the next live stream, and that back fire. So we've got the floor, the stone floor, the fire reflector wall, and the fireplace coming up in the next Huntsman live stream from the Bushcraft camp. I'm going to do that before I finish the walls on the structure, and the reason I'm going to do that, the flooring and the fireplace, before we put the walls on, is because of lighting. It'll be easier for me to live stream that shit to you guys, and so you can actually see what I'm doing before we put the whole top on. So if I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do an overnighter, I'll work on the shelter and then camp out overnight and then work on it the next day. I'll just take the tarp. I'll take my 10 by 10 tarp. I'll throw that up over my over the shelter itself and use that as the roof and just camp out on the ground. But we'll get that floor done. We'll get the fireplace built, and that's all set. And we'll do that before we put the rest of the walls up for the lighting. And then if we have enough time during that live stream, we'll go ahead and get some more of the walls done and then just start cobbing that in. So that's what's going to happen on the next Huntsman live stream. We're going to try to do that this next weekend. So guys, definitely hit that bell icon. So if you guys want to join in on the live stream down at the Bushcraft camp, and you see me put that stone floor and the fireplace and all of that shit together, you can see me do it on the live stream. Whether it works or fails, it's going to be live, so we can't edit that stuff out. I'll get down there this week. I'll do some prep work. We'll try to get the live stream in either Saturday or Sunday. You guys can be right there at camp with me. We'll go over some of the shit that's going on down there because it's been a while since we've been there. And we'll go through the gear that I took down to help build that structure with. And we'll see if we can get that cabin done here more quickly. It's been drug out far too long, but I did take a 2-month hiatus from YouTube, which was, I wish I could say it was nice, but it wasn't. But that's what we're going to be doing in the next live stream. So please join in on that live stream. We're going to have a lot more content, and you're going to be seeing some hands-on shit during that live stream. I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. Appreciate everybody that came with me for this little adventure here on, at Home Sweet Home, going through all the gear. Huntsman's Fire Dip. I hope that was the key to success for some of you out there. Go ahead and try that out, see if it works out for you. Tom, man, I cannot tell you, I can't express to you how much I respect you and love your live streams, man. I really hope you keep them going for as long as you can. I learn more from you than I do from anybody. And if I don't happen to be in those live streams and be able to say hi to you, I just want you to know that I do watch them afterwards, and I don't miss anything from Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival. Anybody who's tuning into this live stream after the show, please check out the metadata down in the description. I'll have that taken care of later on this evening. You'll get the links to all of the gear, including the total pack, my tarp, the knives that I use, and a link to Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival Facebook group. I'm going to get that up right now. As soon as this live stream starts, I'm going to go ahead and put in the hyperlink to Deep Woods Bushcraft and Survival so you guys can get over there, hang out with Tom, and just absorb everything that guy says, because he will not steer you wrong, and the guy is just, he's like a fucking library of knowledge. He knows his shit, he knows what he's doing, and he's a great mentor to have. I couldn't ask for anybody better. I'll follow Tom before I follow little Joey Robinette anywhere. So, thank you guys for coming with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Check out the stream later on tonight for the hyperlinks down in the video. You can get all of the gear that I use while I'm out there and I'm doing the Huntsman thing. Appreciate everybody that came by, and I'll see you guys later.